did last summer. Welcome to Mirror Domains, and this is a I Know What You Did Last Summer live movie review. Guys, I just got out of the theater, and I wanted to do a live stream for I Know What You Did Last Summer 2025. I've got some thoughts, mostly good thoughts, not a lot of bad thoughts, but we will go over to the tomato meter and try to figure out what the heck is going on here, because the tomato meter 37% is it's not good. So that being said, we all also going to be reviewing the movie together. Alison Brie and James Franco, right? Dave Franco, not James Franco. A lot of cool stuff here on Mirror Domains. So, guys, as you can see, I'm having a little bit of trouble with the graphics because I'm just not as set up as I thought I would be. Hey, I'm a little rusty. All these graphics, it's all over the place, but we'll get into it for sure. What will happen here is that I'll chop these out and put them up on the separate review channel, but I'll put these together. I'll leave this live stream up so you can see here on the main channel what I thought about these two movies. Bye for the Hobbit in the live chat. We are doing this live, guys, so it says, hey, James. Hey, how's it going? So, that being said, let's get into it, and hopefully I won't mess this up too bad. You never know. I can, though. It happens. I'll edit it later, though. I Know What You Did Last Summer 2025 is in theaters, and I gotta tell you, my initial reaction to this movie was, well, am I going to like this new cast? How are they going to work in the older cast to this movie? And I just want to see how this all comes together. And I think, for the most part, it came together fairly well. I enjoyed what they did with it. In fact, there's a couple of scenes in this movie where it just put a big, huge smile on my face, because there's some Easter eggs in here that they managed to keep well hidden from, like, movie pundits and movie fanatics like me. There's just a scene in here where I was just like, this has to be CGI, right? This is a deep fake or something, but okay. It's in the movie. I'm like, this is fantastic. I can't believe this. Like, towards the end, there was a couple of scenes where it's just like a big smile on my face, because if you don't know, I was a fan of the original. I liked that first movie where, it was Jennifer Love Hewitt, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Freddie Prinze Jr., and Ryan Phillippe, right? Very 90s. And this movie, this new one, did a good job of, like, throwing back to some of those old images, right? Because that's Ryan Phillippe in the shower, and then the new guys in the shower. And I didn't think that I would like the new cast at first. It took a while for the movie to establish them. And I was like, okay, guys, do we really need to build these relationships? We know they're going to get killed by the bad guys. But then I found that, oddly enough, I was kind of like, this younger cast has got some good chemistry. And I think it pays off that they spent time there in the beginning setting them up. Now, who's the new cast? Let's go over to the IMDb here, and I'll tell you who they are. Obviously, we've seen from the trailers, Freddie Prinze Jr. and Jennifer Love Hewitt are going to be back in this one, but Madeline Klein is in this one. She was in Glass Onion. You might recognize her from that. Chase Sui Wonders, Jonah Howard King, and Tyreek Withers. Oh yeah, and Sarah Pigeon rounds out the cast here. It's basically those five, right? Those are the five. And I want to highlight Tyreek here. Is that how you... Trick Tyreek Withers. He plays like the Ryan Phillippe muscle lunkhead kind of character, and you're like, I'm not going to like this guy because he's just a blowhard kind of. But by the end of it, you're like, okay, I'm kind of rooting for him to be like help this group along, right? To try to survive. Very interesting casting there. And then I got to give a shout out to Freddie Prinze Jr. here too. He has been acting, guys. He's been doing stuff. So I was under the impression that he was out of the game, right? He's been with his family, but when you look at his resume, he's been doing voice work. He's been doing the odd cameo here and there. Nothing really too serious. Maybe a Punky Brewster TV show. It was cool seeing him back. And I'll tell you this, he's still got it. He's still got that presence on screen where you're like, oh, no, yeah, I can see why people liked him in the first place, right? And then, of course, if you don't know, I am a Jennifer Love Hewitt fan. I mean, I even have one of her CDs. Yes, she likes to sing, oddly enough. Can I Grow Now? And bare naked. But it is what it is. I was just like, the first movie was from my generation, and it was kind of cool to see how they were going to hand this off, because the legacy characters were in here, and I felt like they were well used, but I don't think everybody liked this movie, going by what the tomato meter is here, right? 37% by critics, 67% by the audience, and I think maybe that long intro to get everybody established will rub people the wrong way, but it kind of worked for me. And then, as I said, this movie's got a couple of scenes in here where it just put a big smile on my face. It was cool seeing Freddie Prinze Jr. act with Jennifer Love Hewitt again. I'm sorry. I just like that stuff. For me, that was the payoff. So, that being said, let's go over to my score sheet and start filling in some numbers before we go back to the tomato meter and start looking at some of those snapshot reviews. Acting, directing, and story are out of a possible 2 points each. Directing, cinematography, and score are 1 point. The acting, guys, is fairly... you would think for a movie like this it's serviceable, but because you like the new cast, and because it's cool to see the legacy characters back in this, I was like, as I said, there's a really good scene in here with Freddie Prinze Jr. where you're like, yeah, no, he's a good actor, right? And it's cool to see him back. But then all the younger characters there, as I said, that Tyreek guy, you buy into them. You buy into what they're trying to do. And I went with it. Directing. The execution of the story, I think, was competently done. As I said, there could be a few long points in there for some people. I felt like it wrapped up a little too quick at the end, because it was literally to the last 10 minutes. I did not know who the killer was. I couldn't figure that out. And that's maybe I got to give another point for the execution of the story for that, because I couldn't see it coming. They pulled the rope-a-dope a couple times where it's like, oh, it's definitely that guy. No, it's definitely her, or it's going to be a team. And it's like they pulled the rug out on you on this one a couple times, because they know what horror fans and what the audience would be expecting from this. And I would commend them for making a bold choice. They do. And I think it's going to rub a lot of people the wrong way. But I'm like, okay, I'll go with it, because it serves this movie. It serves this movie. Story-wise, I'm also going to give 1.5, because, guys, I'm sorry. As I said, some of those rope-a-dope kind of pulling the rug out, it took me by surprise. And at the end, I was just like smiling for the last half of this movie. Once everything's going in motion, there was just scene after scene of, I didn't think I would see this again. I really didn't think I would see this again. I'm just happy. I was just sitting in the theater with a big smile on my face going, wow. Cinematography is competent. I mean, I guess you could say that there's some good drone shots. It's competently framed. Yeah, why not? I'll give that a full 1 point. Score. Now, this may be a little bit controversial. I think the soundtrack worked for the movie. Was it as iconic as the original score? I was waiting for a few of oh, okay, that's a cool beat. Oh no, that's a cool needle drop. It had it in there. it had it in there. It may not resonate. Maybe it didn't resonate with me because it's the newer age of music, but I could totally give the score a full point. But for me, I'm going to hold off on that right now. And I'm going to go back to the tomato meter now and try to reconcile why everybody, because see, I'm sitting at a 6 out of 10 right now. And I guess that's about what the audience is. But I don't know what the critics are pulling this apart for. So let's just take a look, shall we? When the best its makers can muster up is some basic competence lubricated by those aforementioned dollops of nostalgia, it's worth wondering whether any of this was worth doing in the first place. No, I don't agree with that. I think it was totally worthwhile to do. And I'm so happy that the way they were able to work things in. I was totally happy. 3 out of 10. So this person really didn't like it. An unnecessary and forced comeback drowning in misguided nostalgia. I Know What You Did Last Summer 2025 adds nothing new, recycles tired formulas, and fails as both horror and drama. A soulless, tensionless slasher. Okay, so that sounds like somebody who's watched a lot of this stuff. And I guess if you didn't grow up with that first one, then you might have that opinion about it. The revelation of the killer's identity and motives makes even less sense than things usually do. And by the finale, the script was veered away almost entirely from the idea of deserved comeuppance in its haste to set up a sequel. Well, this movie does have a post-credit scene. And it's a cool post-credit scene. I'm sorry. If you like the first I Know What You Did Last Summer, and I Know What You Did Last Summer too, they poke fun at themselves in this movie. It's like, you don't really want to run away to the tropics. And it's like, okay, I see what you're doing. And the lines in here, they pay homage to like the outrageousness that people had about that first one, where it's like, what are you waiting for, huh? Right? Remember that line where she's like, what are you waiting for, right? And as cheesy as it seems now that it plays out, I was really, really happy that they paid homage to that and even found a way to slightly have it come back a little bit and have a little bit of redemption for Jennifer Love Hewitt with that particular line. I thought that was a lot of fun. And if you didn't know, this is the reveal of the killer scene. So I agree. It's not the greatest of movies. Like it's not Shakespeare, and I don't think it was ever trying to be Shakespeare. But I had fun with it. I could say that yes, the runtime is a touch long. Let's see what the audience says here. A twist on an original acting was little cheesy, but I liked it. Really gnarly kill scenes. And it does have some brutal kill scenes. It does. I mean, that's what we signed up for, right? Great. Love this as an extra or a reboot to the original. The original cast added was the best plus to this. This movie, you just kept on guessing till the end. And that's what I was saying. I didn't know who the killer was because they kept pulling the rug out. And you think that you got it pegged. Oh, it's that person. Oh, for crying out loud, it's going to be that person, right? This is so lazy. This is so ridiculous. But no, they actually try to make it revealing where it's like, that's bold. Okay. TP, awesome, good movie and good plot with thrilling scenes. Austin B says, cheesy, nothing really happened, boring. Well, unless you saw a bunch of... That person must not have been paying attention to all the people getting killed. Such a great movie, and connecting it to the original was perfect. And that's when I got to echo too, that how it connected to the original was very clever. And while it covered some of the exact same story beats of the original, it tied in the legacy characters well enough for me. And that's where I got to say, hey, out of all the movies out there, guys, this is a matinee. This is a good quality streamer, and I think this will have a second life on the streaming services because people will see it and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, no, I remember that from when I was growing up. I like that." Because as far as other movies go out there right now, that guys, you've got Smurfs, 21%, and you've got Eddington, 67%. So. at least with I Know What You Did Last Summer, you're going to have some cool music, some good kills, a little bit dry for some, but I think overall, as I said, there's a couple scenes in here. If you're a fan of the original, you will be, yeah, I can't believe they did this, right? Anyway, let's just wrap this up because I'm rambling on here. Watchability factors out of a possible 2 points. So for me, if you like the original and you want to see where this goes, it's worth seeing at least once. Would I watch it again? I would on streaming, but I don't think I would watch it again in theaters. It's not something that I would rush back to. So, yeah, no, I would totally watch it again. 7.5. That's a little high for a movie that I would agree. It's not Shakespeare here, guys. But I like the fact that I think this was a good, solid attempt to try to reboot this to the newer generation. I think it did it fairly successfully. So, what did you guys think? I Know What You Did Last Summer. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below, and we will talk about it. Hey, if you like this kind of thing, we're going to be talking about a new horror movie coming out next week called Together, starring Dave Franco and Alison Brie, where they kind of have to get stuck together and their skin melts into each other. What the heck is going on with this one? Oi! We'll talk about it right here on Mirror Domains. Okay, yeah, that, let's talk a little, I'll go into a touch of spoilers here. This movie did a great job of marrying in the past cast with this new generation. I felt like it was very organically done. Like, okay, he's still living in the town, and they come to him for help, and then they go to her to help and stuff like that. So when they come together and have this scene in particular, I was just that was the first scene that I was like, okay, we're back. We're back with these characters again, and it was just cool to see them bounce off each other again. That's the first point where I was going like, oh no, wow. And then just the mystery of figuring out what's going on here, who could possibly be pulling this off, right? And Madeline Klein did a good job. Okay, we'll talk about it. I'll talk about it just to let you know. Why is Seth Green there with her? Because Freddie Prinze Jr. is married to her, right? I want to see them together. Sarah Michelle Gellar's in the film. I didn't know that. Because all the reports were she didn't want to come back and do it. They couldn't sign her. Those were the early reports that she was not going to be in this film, but she's in this film. And I was like, okay, they're just going to have like a stand-in. You're never going to see her face. And then when she turns around, I was like, that's got to be, it's got to be a deep fake. But then the scene goes on. And it goes on, and she's talking, and it was just like, I am a big fan of Sarah Michelle Gellar as well, guys, and it was just cool to see her back. And I think it just, it's so well done. It was like, yes, this is exactly how they should bring back these characters. Jennifer Love Hewitt also. It was really cool seeing her back. It wasn't done in a cheesy way, and I was happy that it was not just like the final few minutes of the film where she just shows up. It's like, no, she shows up about halfway through, and then she kind of is peppered in throughout the rest. So I enjoyed that quite a bit. Okay, yeah, there they are. It just would have been cool if you could have seen these two together. Obviously, you couldn't because her character's dead. Well, then how is she back? Well, you watch the movie. You watch the movie and you'll see how she's back. But it was just like cool. It was only missing the one final piece of Ryan Phillippe somehow. But it was kind of like, you gave us one of them at least. And you got out of the two, I would have preferred to have seen her over Ryan Phillippe, and I just thought that's just well done. That's one of my favorite scenes of the movie for sure. Uh, and then we'll talk about the controversial part here just quickly. About the reveal of the characters of who it is characters of who's pulling off these murders. And it's going to rub people the wrong way because it was like, well, did they really telegraph that? Did they really set that up? And I felt at first like it really was rushed. Like the reveal was like, oh, really? But how did that happen then? That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But then it's revealed that there's two, right? And the one reveal of who the second person is really not going to sit well with other people because it'll be like, well, what? We didn't know that before? Why didn't we know that before? How could we not know that this was going to happen? But it was a great scene, and it was a scene where I wish they just let him go as an actor. Just go full ham. Just explore where your emotions take you. Let it out. And I think, like, for the most part, he did. But it just would have been cool just to see him just go full right into it. But anyway, I liked it. I liked it. Good stuff. I can't champion enough. And I'll be on Perry Nemiroff's live stream later on. She's doing a live stream like around 9 o'clock or something, right? Let's just go see what hers is, and I'll be in her live chat. Oh, she's not going to do spoilers though. I'll be in there talking about the movie with her and Matt there, peppering in my 2 cents. It looks like they don't want to do a spoiler review, but I'll add in my nods and stuff like that, because it was just she was also a big fan of this franchise, so it's just cool to talk about that with other people, which hopefully you guys are having fun as well. Okay, that being said, let's reset and get ready for Together. Together is a movie that I saw at an early screening. And it's brutal. It is a brutal movie. Okay, I'm just waiting for somebody else's live stream to start here because I'm in the queue. I'll give her a shout out as well. I love Popcorn in Bed. I think she's one of the best reactors out there. And she's going to be watching one of my favorite movies, Rounders, about poker. Ed Norton, Matt Damon. Good stuff. Good stuff. I just want to mute her audio when it goes live so that it doesn't interfere with this stream. So I'm just waiting for that premiere to start. That should have started a while ago. But I guess I can reset my... Oh, there, good. There, now it's muted. I guess I have to reset my my movie review page. A script, 7.5 out of 10 for I Know What You Did Last Summer. That's a little bit high, I think. Because I should probably have put it at a 7. Well, I do the same for Together. Only time will tell. Let's do this. I'm just looking for the perfect clip here. All right. Together stars Dave Franco and Alison Brie, and it tells the tale of a couple that are struggling in their relationship, and they get sucked into this small town conspiracy where they, well, unfortunately find this thing that draws them together, that forces them to be stuck to each other to such a point where they have to go to some drastic measures to make sure that they don't get glued together forever and be together. Oddly enough, I saw this at a advanced screening, and it's a horror movie. Comes in at an hour and 42 minutes. Comes out July 30th. Years into their relationship, Tim and Millie find themselves at a crossroads. As they move to the country, with tensions already flaring, an encounter with an unnatural force threatens to corrupt their lives, their love, and their flesh. And yes, this is a body horror. This is no doubt a body horror. I mean, look at the poster. it's gruesome. And if you look at the other promotional materials, yes, they do get stuck together. This is what this thing in this town, if you consume a little bit of it or some of it or be part of this ritual kind of thing, then this is what happens. You start to get stuck together and drawn in with this person, and it just so happens if you're a lover or you're in a relationship, then you're going to be stuck in that relationship with somebody else. And what this movie does so well is that it doesn't explain everything. Why is this? How is this happening? Okay, they'll try to give you a little bit of breadcrumbs of is it a religious thing? Is it a scientific? It's something in the water, right? It's like, well, it seems like that would be suggesting as to what it's going for, but there's something a lot more sinister going on in the background where I wasn't expecting it. Where this, I guess it is kind of like there's. It tries to give you some rope-a-dopes with like, okay, there's a cult going on here, right? There's some weird, maybe hypnosis going on with the water, right? That's making you drawn into the person who you care for. But it's got some horrific imagery in here. Dave Franco, I think this is his best work that I've seen him do, because he's talking in a different voice or something, and you almost forget that it's him. But the eeriness of the way that this goes down and they get stuck together and as I said, the drastic measures that they have to do, like they're getting sucked towards each other, and you're like, I can't stop moving towards you. It's just pulling me towards you. I can't get away from you, but we have to stay away from each other no matter what. Otherwise, we are going to get stuck. And it's pretty gruesome towards the end of what they have to do to be unstuck. And it goes and it takes that idea and it runs with it to the point where you're like, okay, well, what would happen if they got stuck together like this? And they do. And it's like, ugh. And as I said, the body horror about it all is, I wasn't expecting it to be this gruesome. I wasn't. And for an hour and 42 minutes, that's the perfect runtime for something like this. Now, it's 100% on the tomato meter, but I don't think that'll stay like that. I think as more reviews come out, people will maybe bring it down to the 80s, and I think the audience, if you're a horror fan, you'll want to check this out. If you are an Alison Brie fan, Dave Franco fan, then you'll want to check this out. And I was really happy to see that when the credits rolled, that these two were on the producers list. So they saw this project, they saw this script, and they're like, we can make this work. We can do this, and let's put our own money in here and produce this film, because we can't, right? Why is it not showing me the producers here, guys? Producers, Alison Brie, right there, right? Dave Franco, producer. So just a little reassurance there. So that being said, let's go over to my score sheet and start filling in some numbers for would expect a reasonably high score for Together. Acting, directing, and story are out of a possible 2 points. Cinematography and score are out of 1 point. Acting. Now, you guys have heard me say in my reviews all the time that one of the best things that director can do, or a storyteller, is that if you've got two really good talents, and you do here with Dave Franco and Alison Brie, just put them in a room together and turn on the camera and let them go, right? Because if the material is good, they're going to pull out ideas. They're going to transform the material into a different thing that you may have not seen up here. And I think they do. And I think that the fact that they were able to do that, and they found that the script was so compelling that they wanted to produce it as well. Michael Shanks there, I think he did a one-up on everybody, like, by just letting them fly. And no, dare I say, there's a couple of scenes in here where I think it's worth maybe some consideration of some outside recognition. It's a full 2 points for acting. Directing, execution of the story is very well done. Execution of the technical aspects, the cinematography is a real standout here. The score also, because it's haunting when you hear this. It's just I didn't think I would like it, and like halfway through, it's like I don't know if I like this. It's gross. But it's like that's what they're trying to go for, James. And I think the story, for the most part, I gotta give 1.5 as well. I reserve the right to come back to the directing. No, I'm just gonna give directing 1.5 right now as well. But the cinematography is out of 1 point, and so is the score. Cinematography, it's the thing that helps draw you into it, because as they're going into the woods and they're finding these weird caverns and stuff like that, there's like a creepiness to it where you remember Jeepers Creepers when they go down into his lair and you see these things on the walls and stuff like that. It's a bit like that. It's a bit like that, where it's like, based on what I saw from the trailers of the movie, this is not what I was expecting to see. But it goes into some weird stuff, man. And it's filmed brilliantly. Score. I like the score. I think right now I'll hold off on bumping that up. I'll keep it at 6.5 right now for Together. But let's go back to the tomato meter. Let's see what some of the other critics are saying. See if we can start to marshal in some measure here. When Together gets weird, it can do so because of how painfully relatable it is. And that goes to, okay, so there's the analogy there that if you love somebody, then you really want to be together with them. Be together with them, right? But there's also this horror thing of like, what's going on here? Why are they being drawn together? And it's fantastical, but it's also gross and just wow, right? Writer-director Michael Shanks' third act fumbles a bit in its predictability, but Brie and Franco lock into the offbeat humor of the film's premise, and the special effects are a marvel. Yeah, the special effects, as I said. You think that the poster where their arms are coming together, think about other body parts that are coming together. It's just, yeah. Oh, Perry Nemiroff. Okay, cool. A brilliantly twisted and wildly entertaining way of exploring codependent relationships. It's a story that demands leads who can do it all. Comedy, bonkers horror, and then some. Dave Franco and Alison Brie can do it all, and this movie soars because of it. Yeah, guys, it's a showcase of acting, for sure. Damon Harriman also does a good job in here. He kind of plays this creepy neighbor, co-worker. You don't know if you can trust him or not. And he's also really good in this film. I pulled up the other Cody Leach. Let's take a look at what he said. Together is an exploration of codependency through the nastiest and funniest of extremes. Dave Franco and Alison Brie are terrific together, and the places they have to go are sure to stick in your mind all year long. Yeah, because when they're together, they are together. I thought Matt Donato was also on here. I guess I must have accidentally closed that off. There's Perry. Sorry, guys. I might have to edit this out. Oh, there he is. Shanks uses the under-promise and over-deliver method to keep us happy. Under-promise what to expect from your body horror flick and over-deliver on icky mutations that'll have us howling like mad. Yeah, that's, well, it's a bit revealing with the mutations. But I mean, when you think about it, if you're going to get stuck together, of course it's going to end up in some kind of grotesque mutation. I don't want to spoil it for you guys because it's just, you want to see how together they get together. And, yeah, it's a good, solid horror film. It's probably one of the better horror films of the year. I gotta agree with that statement on that poster right there, for sure. Movie reviews. Watchability factors out of a possible 2 points. Guys, check this out in the theater next week when you can. Take it in a matinee if you don't want to pay full price at the evening. But it's totally worth checking that out. And I would watch it again. I would even study the acting in this film. I would study the pacing of this film. I would check out how they did the visual effects. Like when you think of movies like The Substance, and you think about how they did all of those makeup effects and stuff like that, you're going to be thinking about that with this movie as well. And it's going to be in a way that you didn't think that they were going to be doing that in a movie like this, but they did. 8 out of 10. That's a great score for a great horror movie. Can I possibly give it any more? Maybe on a rewatch I could give it more points, but for right now, I'm really happy with that score, 8 out of 10. I would have no problem putting this in my collection either. So maybe I would. It is one of the better horror movies of the year. There it is, 8.5 out of 10 for Together. What do you guys think? Let me know what you thought about it in the comments below, and we will talk about it. Hey, if you like this kind of thing, we just reviewed the movie I Know What You Did Last Summer 2025 right here on Mirror Domains. And we talked a little bit of spoilers towards the end of that review. That's up on the channel as well right now. And if you wanted to see this live, this was filmed live, go check out the main channel where we publish all the short, quick little snippets of reviews, and we do live streams where this was filmed. All right, guys, that's it for me today. Let me know what you thought about some of these movies below, and we will talk about it. You're watching Mirror Domains.